সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, ছোট্ট একটি ব্রেকের পর আবার চলে আসলাম প্রপার্টি বিষয়ক আপনাদের প্রিয় অনুষ্ঠান প্রপার্টি শো উইথ কাজী আরিফ। আমি চলে যাচ্ছি সরাসরি কাজী আরিফ ভাইয়ের কাছে টু আস্ক most important some of the questions which he can dig it out from Mr. Desmond. Arif bhai, I'd like to give you the floor, please.
Thank you, Ashraf bhai. Desmond, I'm back to you regarding some sort of point to ask you about that. Although I know that you landlord, you was managing and your property is managing by the agent, fair enough. But part by part is some sort of thing we have to understand as a landlord responsibility, and have to cross check with the agent as well, the properly working there or not, although they're managing the property. The point was, just if I come back to you in a sense with that, you know, there is some compliances recently changed after Greenfield Tower issue, although we can highlight it there, but the other way I would like to say that there is a pet test issue, electrical thing. Obviously I want to answer from you, side by side, carbon monoxide alarm issue and smoke alarm issue, particularly these 3 points. If you can just little brief yourself to our community, it will be really great, and you can share something and I can add on something if you needed to, something like that. Please, if you share your experience or you want to say something to our community as well to make awareness, please.
Thank you for that, Kazi. With regards, and I like the fact that you touched on the Grenfell Tower, and this is something that took place on the 14th of June 2017. It's a situation whereas, and I'm going to come back to the explanation of the PAT testing because it's very important, and there were rumors around it was a refrigerator, people were doing things, and it's a case where the Grenfell Tower is concerned. I would say it out to landlords out there, let's be careful. And when we think about such dreadful experience, people within the communities and how it affects families and still affecting people today, hopefully that should continue to motivate you to stay on the right path and to follow the health and safety guidelines. In terms of your question, it's a very good question. And within properties, people use multiple appliances. Toasters, kettles, refrigerator, television. Sometimes in every room you have a television. Where the PAT testing is concerned, it's something that should be done annually. We recommend that annually because people, as a landlord, you don't know what is going on within your property on a daily basis. So by having minimum an annual test on your electrical plugs, on the electrical appliances, and make sure again it is a qualified electrician or a qualified electrical engineer who will then put a sticker on each appliance they have tested, and they will put the date. So should in case there is anything happen, I guarantee these are some of the things that your insurance company will be looking at to make sure that you have actually followed the right path. They may not always tell you that this is what we would look for, but as a landlord, it's very important.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You got so much saying to our community. Really appreciate for that. If I go back to you regarding the carbon monoxide and smoke alarm, if you just tell us your community, please, something.
It's very important, especially it doesn't matter if you've got one person living in your property or multiple people, 6 and beyond, which goes into the HMO category. One life is too much. Carbon monoxide, smoke alarms, and of late, what it is I've observed and what I even practice within my own property is have up no smoking signs. It is very important to remind people, of course, again, as a landlord, you might not always be there to see what is going on. But by you making that 50% step and ensuring that you have covered the health and safety grounds, at least again, the insurance companies can cover you. And where the smoke alarms and the carbon monoxide alarms is concerned, there are key places in which you will put that. And I would go, if for example, a carbon monoxide, put it close to your boiler or your heater, not the heater, but close to the boiler, especially if you're functioning with gas. Your smoke alarms in your kitchen, the living room, and just outside your bedroom, so that that signal will come to you before it gets inside the bedroom.
Sorry, Mr. Dermond, I'll just come back to you. It's like an interview. I'm going to take you very ready for it. It's just courtesy to talk to you regarding that. You know that smoke alarm and carbon monoxide was like not that long ago is introduced to England part as a mandatory. Obviously, carbon monoxide have to be one in a home, which is you describe was supposed to be. Second part is like a smoke alarm. Every floor have to have
Of
minimum
course,
one
yes.
as well. But you know that tragic thing in this country, they introduced recently, very recent. So before that, do you know how many people was dying in the UK because of no smoke alarm in the property? Again, easy.
No, no, it's good. It's a very good question, and to be honest, I don't have the specific figure. But as mentioned before, one life is too much.
Thank you for this point. I really appreciate for this wording to our community. দর্শক আপনারা দেখছিলেন, আমরা চেষ্টা করতেছি এইভাবে আপনাদেরকে বলে বিভিন্ন ইনফরমেশন দেওয়ার জন্য. I just want to go back to Mr. The point was to specific this way though, like before that law, this country, on average in greater UK was dying approximately 24 people every year. So matter of this type of thing becoming a law, obviously landlord have a normal the human responsibility, so much factor here. So there is some sort of thing we want to do. If I go back to you again, because of our program is designed and we are about to finish. দর্শক আপনারা দেখছিলেন, আপনাদের কাছে চেষ্টা করছি, মানে যদিও ইংলিশে কথা বলা হচ্ছে, আশা করি আপনারা অনেকেই বুঝতে পারছেন। পাশাপাশি যদি আর অন্য কেউ থাকে তারাও ট্রান্সলেট করে দিবেন, যদি আমরা যেহেতু কম্পেয়ার করে মিক্স করে কথা বলার চেষ্টা করছি। তারপরে চলে আসছি আরও কিছু আপনাদের কাছে দেওয়ার জন্য, বোঝার জন্য। দেখেন, বিদেশিরাও এই জিনিসগুলো খেয়াল করছে, আমরা দেশিরাও খেয়াল করতে হবে, আমাদের কমিউনিটিকে আগায় আসতে হবে। কোনো কারণে পিছিয়ে আছে, যারা করছি তো ভালো কথা, যারা যদি না করে থাকি তাদের ক্ষেত্রে আমাদেরকে মোর অ্যাওয়ারনেস দেয়। আপনাদের ইনফরমেটিভ অনুষ্ঠান কমিউনিটির একমাত্র প্রপার্টি শো চলছে। যাই হোক, আমি চলে আসছি আবার গেস্টের কাছে। Dasman, if I come back to you regarding some sort of responsibility regarding the repair issue in the property, you can face so many landlords still sometime. Okay, I'm not meaning to any particular
of course
agent,
not.
but obviously this is a business. Sometimes you have to minimize the cost. Of course, there is responsibility, making money over there. There is some sort of responsibility, some sort of disrepair issue following it, agent doing that sort of activities, as well as the landlord not responding in this thing. I mean, how you feel as a landlord wanted to say that the basic repairable thing they should do?
It's very important. As a landlord, you have maximum 30 days from the day in which your tenant or your resident or your customer reports a defect within the property. Again, the responsibility of the landlord, you are definitely expected to respond sooner than 30 days, especially if there's a water leak, a gas leak, or an electrical problem. However, I would recommend, of course, everyone's financial situation is different.
Different, yes.
But as a landlord, it's very important, and some of these property management organizations, they use a jargon called the sinking fund. What landlords can do is put aside maybe 5 or 10% of their income towards repairs for the property. So at least there is something in place and they don't have to be tempted to exceed the 30-day span that is written in law they are expected to follow in order to repair anything within the properties. And this will actually help them to maintain, one, not just a safety, but a very useful relationship with their tenants so that they can see effectiveness is being applied.
Excellent.
থ্যাংক ইউ মিস্টার দাসমান। সুপ্রকার, আপনারা দেখছিলেন আমি যেভাবে পার্টভাবে আপনাদেরকে প্রোগ্রামটি ডিজাইন করেছি, যে ল্যান্ডলর্ড রেসপন্সিবিলিটি হিসাবে আমাদের যেসব মানে মেন টপিকসগুলো থাকে সেটা কাভার আপ করার জন্য আমি তারপরে চলে আসছি, তার কাছে আবার চলে যাব। অ্যাগেন আপনারা কিছু ইমেল পাঠাচ্ছেন, আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি, অবশ্যই সেটা আনসার করব। পাশাপাশি আপনাদের অ্যাগেন মতামত অভিমত থাকলেও জানাবেন। সত্য কথা বলতে কি একটা কথা না বলেই পারছি না। গত সপ্তাহে একজন আমাদেরকে একটা টিপস দিয়েছেন, আমি রিয়েলি অ্যাপ্রিসিয়েট করছি। কিসের জন্য আমাদেরকে অ্যাডভাইস করেছেন, যদি আপনাদের প্রোগ্রামটা এভাবে করা হয়, আমি 9টা বললাম যেটা যে টপিক্সে উনি কথা বলেছে, কিন্তু আমরা সেটাকে সংশোধনী করেছি এই প্রোগ্রাম থেকে, এবং এটা থাকবে আপনাদের কাছে বলার জন্য। মিস্টার দাসমান, আই এম কামিং ব্যাক টু ইউ রিগার্ডিং সাম সর্ট অফ legal part. Again, landlord responsibility, so many factor here, because you're going to be, this is one sort of business we people doing, whoever a landlord is, but side by side there is responsibility, there is a as a part of landlord there is a so many part to go. If I come back to regarding that sort of thing, like mortgage issue, like your residential property, maybe you rent it to somebody, did you take any consent to mortgage, or you have a already buy-to-let property, then there is some terms and condition, you have to inform them, other than sometimes the problem. So obviously we know everybody this type of thing, but of course they have to follow this type of thing. We can give me very little bit info, although I'm coming back to other point as well regarding tax return. This country's tax return, which is landlord income, have to declare it. So many people are not doing it sometime, but obviously for particularly this particular 2 point, if you at a glance, if you can say very shortly, please, because Asha Bhai give me a sign that we are about to finish within a few minutes time.
No
so
problem.
very small tips for our Bengali community, from if you came from other community, and you're sharing your experience. So if you just tell to us that we can balance up something, tips for them, please.
There are 2 key points that our dear brother just mentioned, Kazi. It's a case of 2 things. One, maintain a decent, a quality relationship with your lender. Inform them, call, ask questions. If I'm about to let out my property, switching it from residential to letting, what do I have to do? What are the things that I need to be aware of? In addition to that, it is a criminal offense not to declare your rental income, and it's something very serious that the tax office take on board. And it's a case of this could even encourage you to walk down the path of maybe facing court and some sort of criminal convictions. And in order to maintain your quality standard within the property market, I would strongly advise that you seek some advice. If you're not sure, if you don't have the confidence, again, talk to your agent.
Thank you, Mr. Dasban. I'm asking so many questions, but you didn't ask me back any questions. What's going on today? It's not having interview, am I? Taking interview from me. Yes?
I'm enjoying it. It's a very good program, and it's a case of, I just hope that we would actually meet again, and we would come back to,
definitely,
touch on other things, because there's so much factors that people needs to be aware of. Exactly. And again, people are in the game, the property game, but it's their state of mind is about, yes, I have a property, I rent it out, I make some money, but there's so much implications that could actually put people on the wrong path. And just by raising awareness, I do hope that, as you say, inshallah, we would actually meet again on this useful platform. And I hope that whatever we have contributed as a collective is useful to all you listeners. And thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Desmond, that you mentioned that. And we've been doing for the last 5 years, just to let you know. We are very close to the end of the show. I would say that he just finished talking. So I will give 1 minute to you and 1 minute to Mr. Desmond as well, just to sum up and just say something to the community from the today's show. What are the highlights?
So this is the means of 1 minute for him, 1 minute for me, and how many minutes for you?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. I see.
He has prioritized us.
So I'll be appreciative if you can start from Mr. Dasban, please.
Yes, Mr. Dasban.
No problem. Thank you very much. I cannot thank you 2 decent gentlemen for inviting me here today and to be able to share my personal and professional experience and knowledge with the community. And again, I hope that this will repeat itself again. And I would like to touch on the fact that it's important that landlords familiarize themselves with various documents. In terms of, again, you can just go into Google and type in simply responsibilities of landlords. There is a document there that's called LACROS. It's spelled LACORS. It's something that has actually been introduced by the it has been actually produced by chief fire officials in association with the Institute of Environmental Health. And this has got, even though it's focused a lot on fire safety and all these things, but it's very important to familiarize ourselves with that. And then you've also got the regulatory form of England and Wales, which is also, this has been made on the 7th of June 2005. It's something that, when I revised this document, it is a legal and public document, even though some of it might actually focus towards business, but there's a lot of information that you can shadow and use where your residential properties is concerned. And as a landlord, health and safety, key factor. You tick your health and safety boxes, and you're on your way to a good path with your residents.
Thank you very much, Mr. Desmond. We have 45 seconds for you, please.
আশরাফ ভাই আপনি
Please, no time. Please carry on. No time.
দর্শক আপনারা দেখছিলেন যে আশরাফ ভাই সময় আমাকে আবার কমিয়ে দিয়েছে, সো আমি আপনাদের কাছে চলে আসছি এই কথা বলে আর কি, যে আমার কাছে বিদায়ের পালা, যেতে নাই চাই তবু যেতে হচ্ছে। আমরা চেষ্টা করেছিলাম আপনাদের কাছে বিভিন্নভাবে মোর ইনফরমেশন দেওয়ার জন্য এবং প্রোগ্রামটিকে বিভিন্ন ডিজাইন আপনার কাছে সাজানোর জন্য। আপনার কাছে টিপস এবং মতামত সবসময় চাইব, কারণ আপনারাই হচ্ছেন ভিউয়ার্স, আপনারা দিতে পারেন আমাদেরকে অনেক রকমের উৎসাহ, প্রেরণা এবং so many tips. If I go back to Mr. Desmond, thank you very much in coming to our show. Thank you
Very much
and,
welcome.
Really appreciate that you enjoyed our show and
It's
you
been
want
a
to come
pleasure.
again, you want to share your, of course we're going to bring you again.
Of course.
Just to say আশরাফ ভাই আমি আমার পক্ষ থেকে মানে বিদায় নিচ্ছি। দর্শক আপনারা যেখানে থাকবেন আগামী প্রোগ্রাম দেখা হবে, ভালো থাকবেন, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। Ashraf bhai, back to you.
Thank you very much, both of you. I will thank you after the show even. Darshak, we have to go. And before we go, we always give you property show tips, which is nothing goes with the property, but it is more than a property. It's a do good for others. It will come back to you in unexpected way. And it happens to so many people. Try it. Bhalo thaken, সুস্থ থাকেন। See you next time on NTV. Assalamu alaikum.